Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So some people are still coming in. Well, first of all, I want to say good it's afternoon now. It is after 12 noon. And I want to welcome you to this webinar on how to save a failing business. My name is Rita Price. I am the owner of FSP Enterprises. And let me go ahead and start sharing here. Um, I'll ask this as people come in to, if you have any questions, to make sure that you put them in the chat. And at the end, which this should not last any more than 30 minutes, I may leave a couple of minutes at the end for Q&A. So I ask everyone to make sure that you put your questions in the chat and I will answer them at the end. Okay. So hopefully everyone can see that here, see the screen. Okay. So like I say, a little bit about me and I'll tell you about me and my company and give you before I start the webinar. So a little bit about me, FSP Enterprises. My organization is actually um, kind of a multifaceted organization where we're really committed to using soft skills, methods and practices for professional and personal development. My background is HR. So what really makes the services that we provide so unique is that I take a holistic approach in my coaching and consulting. We really focus on helping our clients, what I call take care of your being as well as your business. And my tagline is we're skilling you softly to live and lead with confidence and with boldness. So that's a part of what I do, life coaching, business coaching, as well as career coaching as well. So as we get into the presentation, like I said, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat, and you'll kind of see why I am so passionate about, small business owners, um, making sure to set us up for success. Because what I am actually going over today is kind of my journey that I'm having to reinvent myself as a business owner. And these are the principles and some of the practices that I use to make sure that, my business does not fail. So I wanted to share this with everyone. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure some tips that I'm going to give you and some things will help you with making sure that your business is successful. All right, so let's kind of get into, we talk about, I know this is probably like, why are we talking about the purpose of entrepreneurship? You'll be surprised at some people that really don't know the purpose. So really, entrepreneurship really is, you're developing innovative solutions to real world problems. That's right. You're developing solution to someone's problem, developing and testing hypotheses, if you want to use a scientific term, as you really learn how to create a product or a service. There's so much into entrepreneurship. I like to call it, there's the art and science to entrepreneurship. It's not as simple sometimes, and sometimes we're so excited about getting into entrepreneurship until we don't really get the foundation that we need. So the entrepreneur spirit is really characterized by innovation and risk taking. If you are an entrepreneur, those are the two key factors. And it's really an essential part of a nation's really ability to succeed in every changing and increasingly competitive global marketplace. As we can see now, what's going on in the world. Some small business owners, you really have to be on your A game. You really have to know and be educated. I always say that entrepreneurship It's not for the faint at heart. So this is really the purpose of why you are in business. You're trying to be a solution to someone's problem. All right. So just to give you what we're going to really talk about today, I'm going to give you some data facts. We're going to talk about some of the top reasons why businesses fail. And we're going to look into steps for business turnaround. How do you turn your business around? And then we're going to look at business resources as well. There are a plethora of resources here in Memphis. I know some people may be joining from other areas of the country, but there are resources out there. Okay, so let's look at some data here. So this is according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is BLS, 20% of new businesses fail during the first 2 years of being open, 45% during the first 5 years, and 65% of businesses fail during the first 10 years. So in other words, if you've had your business past 10 years, and let me just put this, and you've been making money, you are unique because according to these statistics, this is what the average small business owner fail really within the first 2 to 5 years of being in business. All right, so what are some of the top reasons why businesses fail? We'll get into that. First, financial challenges. So this is probably one of the biggest factors. So you got cash flow problems is one of the part of it. And what cash flow, of course, that's the lack of sufficient cash really to cover your day-to-day operations. Like I say, if you don't know me, you'll learn I am a very transparent person because I believe in storytelling, and storytelling is a soft skill. This is one of the reasons that I had issues. When you start dipping into your personal funds to pay for your business, that's a cash flow problem. So really not being able to cover the day-to-day expenses, a lack of funding or capital. This is many business fail due to lack of sufficient, initial capital, your startup capital. You don't really have the working capital to cover startup costs and operations. Now, this can be services or products. It's really more geared toward, especially if you have products versus services, because mostly my business is a service. I'm actually a service provider. So, this is, you need capital, but even with that, you still have to have certain tools and certain things you need for your business. Another financial challenge, of course, poor financial management. This includes inaccurate bookkeeping, overspending, really not properly managing your debt. This can be your personal or your business. I always say you need to keep those separate when you're talking about managing your money for your business. If you have a checking account, make sure you have a business account and separate it from your personal. Those are one of the things I had to learn in the beginning. And then inadequate profit. So what does that mean if you're not making any money? If you're not making profit, and profit is what you have left after you've paid your daily operating costs. So for example, if you don't have enough and like I say, you dipping into your personal funds, definitely you haven't made any profit out of your business. And that's the purpose of being in business, is to make sure that you do make a profit. So that's important. Another reason why businesses fail is market and business planning. Insufficient market demand is one of the criterias in here. So what does that mean? That means your business may fail if there's not really enough demand for the product or service that you are offering. You may have misjudged that. That is why you need clarity. I always talk about this before you start a business. You make sure that you have clarity of there is a demand for your product or for your services. If not, that's why you have to, go back. Sometimes you have to go back to the drawing board And then maybe you have what you call a weak business plan. This, what I have actually here is what they call a business model canvas. And we're still using business plan, but this right here is actually a matrix that is used for you to put, to fill in, and it helps you complete your business plan. So you take a look at this, you need to make sure who are your key partners. This is a 9-box grid. What are the key activities you need to do? What is your cost structure? What is your value proposition or proportion? And then what kind of customer relationships do you have? What are your revenue streams? What are your channels, your marketing channels? How are you getting your business out there? And then, your customer segment. Do you know your customer? So, not having this information actually can affect and hurt your business. And then a lack of market research. This is key. And I kind of always kind of talk about this, especially when I'm conducting how to make social media work for your business. Failing to conduct adequate market research can lead to businesses actually misjudging the competition and really failing to understand your customer's need. I always use this example. Here in Memphis, I don't know what it is. Everybody want to open up a hot wing. I call them chicken shack. No, I'm not making fun, but I'm just being real. They're not doing enough research. So if you've chosen a location, have you researched who's your competition? How many other hot wing or places, similar to your business are on that same strip that you are, looking to have your brick and mortar business? So you need to make sure you conduct research when you're talking about, opening up a business, because this can be a major factor as well. Okay. All right. Another reason is leadership management. Really, you are the owner of your business. You are the leader. You manage the business. So really having poor management is another major factor. When I talk about this now, for those who are solopreneurs, we're the one-stop shop. But for those who actually do have employees, not being an effective leader can really lead to poor decision making, a lack of motivation to motivating your employees. It can lead to low employee morale. It can lead to a failure to adapt to change actually in your industry. So this is very important that as a leader, you're leading your team. You don't want to have a high turnover rate. And that can cause you money as well. But that's another webinar within itself that I may conduct in the future. All right. Incompetent employees and management. And basically what this is, you don't have the skill set. When you're opening a business, you need to do your research. It never hurts to take courses, because when you are a leader of a company or your business, you have to know how to deal with your employees. So employee relations. How are you skilled with your employees, or this can be a poorly managed team. How are you managing your team? This really impacts the operation of your business. So this can be a major factor. I know businesses who have actually gone out of business because maybe they had a lack of employees. They couldn't keep employees hired. So you have to understand, as a small business owner, if you do have employees, this plays a major factor of how are you managing your employees, your team. And then, of course, a lack of experience. Business owners really, their tasks of experience or knowledge in the industry can make it difficult. If you have a lack of experience in your particular industry on how to, maybe difficult to navigate in your industry, this can bring challenges on, how do you make sound decisions? When I was teaching at a college, what I still teach now, but one thing I always told my students, it's good that you want to come out, go and work for yourself, but I kind of used to challenge them to go work for another company and learn the ins and outs of the operation of a business. Because before I opened my business, I had been working in corporate America, I want to say probably about 20 years. And I learned the nuances of the business. I learned what HR, marketing, operate, all the whole nuance of how to operate a business. Because when you become a business owner, you're the CEO, you're the HR, you're marketing, you are operations, you're supply chain management, you're all of that. So really having that experience, I valued that. So I knew working for other organizations, I knew how the organization um, actually how the organization ran. All right. More top reasons businesses fail: burnout or lack of passion. Um, you've had this business, it can lead to, a lack of motivation. You feel like, okay, why am I doing this? Um, you really don't want to persevere through the challenges. And sometimes, you just shut your door and you just like, forget it, I'm retired, I'm fine. Or you may choose to go back and get, a regular 9 to 5, and that's okay. Whatever works for you. Because I always say, it's okay if you find out that entrepreneurship is for you. I promise you, some days I used to wonder, is it really for me? But I mean, me personally, I love the flexibility. I love being able to help people, and just in general, as they say, I guess being my own boss. But it's not for everyone, so it's okay. I've known several friends that this is not for me, I'm going back, to work for another organization, or another company. Another reason: ignoring customer need, poor customer service. This is one of the biggest, to me, one of the biggest um factors that can determine how your business operates. I always use the Chick-fil-A mentality. So I'll just say this. So, for example, Chick-fil-A, you got Chick-fil-A, you got KFC, you have Popeyes. All of them pretty much sell is chicken, and it's just common factor. But one of the things I always say about Chick-fil-A, they have the best customer service. I mean, everybody's nice. You never see anyone having a bad attitude. And it's just amazing because they'll even put you in a better mood when you go to lunch. If you notice, if you pass by Chick-fil-A during lunch, breakfast, or lunchtime, really almost any time, you're always going to see a long line, right? And it's just like, how can I help you? They got a smile. And it was my pleasure to serve you. I mean, it is amazing. Now, me personally, myself, I prefer Popeye's chicken sandwich. But sometimes, because of Chick-fil-A customer service and how they make you feel, sometimes people will go for maybe a little less as far as the taste on a chicken sandwich just to receive the great customer service. So I always focus on great, effective customer service, which, by the way, is a soft skill when you're talking about your business, because this is the factor can make or break your business, making sure that you give good customer service. Another is poor location. I kind of talked about that earlier, making sure that you do your research. Poorly chosen locations can really limit your access and impact your sales. So you want to make sure, especially if you have a business, that you're not um, in the cut in the back. Nobody can really see you. You don't have any signage, especially if you're selling a product. It may be okay, of course, if you have a service, like maybe a business like mine, that may not be a major factor. But if you have a restaurant or some type of business or sport shop or whatever type of business you have where you're selling products or serve or products, you want to make sure that you choose the right location in the right areas. Okay. Another, it's expanding too fast. Maybe you're doing great. You got this one location, the first year, I mean, you're killing it, right? Then all of a sudden, year two, oh, we need to open up another business. Sometimes that's not the right choice, because you need to make sure that you don't try to grow too quickly, this can actually lead to financial strain, and it actually, can have operation challenges. Because remember, whatever you had going on for business number one, that's going to be times two for business number two. Hiring the staff, making sure you're fully staffed, making sure that you have all the supply chain, things that you need for your business. So you might want to take that in consideration, that you don't make that choice of expanding too fast. Failure to adapt to an industry change. So this is really not understand the industry and failure to innovate. This is one of those things I am seeing a lot of. You have to adapt. Perfect example, some people don't like AI technology, or you don't want to implement online, the World Wide Web, things for your business. You're still using paper, antiquated practices, and different things like that. I'll be honest with you, whether it's a product or service, normally that does not work well. You have to learn how to adapt, especially now. I know some people fear AI, which I have actually had this artificial intelligence, but you have to have some form. People don't really understand what AI is. There are a lot of things that AI, for example, your smartphone, mostly everything that they call a smartphone is operated by AI. So AI can be used to your advantage. So some things you have to learn to adapt to. I know during the pandemic, especially like the robot, some of the restaurants I saw were using robots. I know some people say, well, that takes away jobs. And it's a possibility it can, but just to put you at ease, AI is not necessarily can be used for everything. Everything will not become obsolete as jobs or in your services. Like, for example, what I am doing. Yes, you probably can go on YouTube. You can actually go on certain areas. You can find certain things as far as, AI tech, AI technology, whatever, but you still have to have that personal touch in a lot of things. Okay. All right, so let's keep it moving here. Steps to turn around. How do you turn around your business? So these are some of the things I researched, but a lot of these things are things that I actually um, conducted myself when I had to do a pause on my business. And one of the things that happened to me last year is when I did my tax returns. And the IRS really don't consider a business unless you make over $6,000 a year. Anything less than $6,000 a year is considered a hobby. So when I got my tax returns, just last year, because business was kind of really slow, some of the things I was, dealing with distractions, because I also teach college as well, online classes. And when I was like, what? Oh no, we don't have hobbies. I have a business. So really and truly, you need to do some things to turn around. The first thing I did, of course, was a SWOT analysis. And this is here. And what a SWOT analysis is, you analyze your business strengths, and weaknesses, and opportunities. This provide a clear picture of actually your current situation. So what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities? And what are your threats? So that to perform a SWOT analysis. The second thing that I actually did as far as assessing the situation, I did a financial analysis as well. I looked at my statements. I looked at the root cause of not bringing in enough revenue. What are my financial struggles? What is cash? I had cash flow problems, and I talked about that earlier as well. And then also too, you need to engage your customers. I did surveys to the customers that I had that, I have clients that they may not had anything at the time. And I asked them, I was like, what um what do you need? Identify what you need, so you can really understand why you're falling short. Ask questions. It's okay to ask questions. Sometimes as business owners, we have this pride thing going on, but if you want your business to succeed, you need to ask what are your customers' needs are. And then you can do a market analysis. So a market analysis actually is assessing the competition, really looking at just the competitive landscape and really identifying any shifts that may be going on in the market that can affect your business. One of the things that's going on right now are tariffs, right? You need to do a market analysis, you find other suppliers, things of that nature. So these are some of the things you can do to turn your business around. The next thing is develop a turnaround strategy. And I'm big on strategies. I like to call myself a life and leadership strategist. So, you really need to determine what they call set SMART goals. Everybody's probably familiar with that. So, what are your specifics? What is measurable? Is it achievable? Is it relevant? And is it time um sensitive goals for the turnaround? You actually need to conduct that. Some of you may not be familiar with that, but that's when you need to hire a professional to help you with that. And then two, prioritize your key areas. What does that mean? So that means is you need to focus on the areas that can have the biggest impact on your business. So some of these things can be like improving customer service. We just talked about that, reducing your costs and revamping your products. Sometimes you need to revamp your products. Like I said, I have service, but I had to go through a process that I had to revamp some of the things that I was offering. I saw people's needs. And as well as I do have products, I have a apparel line too, if something's not moving, what I need to do. So you need to do some of those things. And then also too, when you're talking about development turnaround strategy, you need to take a look at creating a roadmap. So what does that mean? You need to develop a step-by-step plan for achieving your goal. Outlining the necessary actions that you need to take. You need timeline, resources. I have a spreadsheet that I have of all the different sources of income. I do projections of, this is what I want to do. I put a time with it. This is what I want to achieve. So you have to strategize and, create a roadmap so you have some habit to follow to keep you on point. To be honest with you, last year's I got totally off my roadmap. And that was the reason some of the things started happening to me. I was engaged in doing other things and I really wasn't focusing on my business like I should. But, within the last couple of months, I have definitely I'm doing a turnaround and it definitely is paid off. All right. Implementing cost-cutting measures. I talked about a little bit, in the beginning about this could be a issue as far as can cause failure. You need to identify areas where you can cut expenses, reduce such as rent, utilities, maybe some office supplies. Me personally, myself, I don't, I'm work from home, so thank goodness I don't have a brick and mortar yet, but that is my goal one day. So I don't have a lot of overhead. But for those that do, maybe have a business where brick and mortar, some of the supplies and things, you may want to take and to look into cutting costs. Now, with that said, you want to make sure that you don't lose the quality on some of the things you want to cut costs on, because that can be a ripple effect as well. If your customers are accustomed to a certain quality of a product, you want to make sure, but you just that's where you have to do your shopping around and do your research. But that is another one of those areas that you can do to help turn around. Improve your cash flow. So what does that mean, improve your cash flow? That is, really setting yourself up as far as getting the revenue that you need. Maybe you want to have, this may become where marketing comes in, but maybe you want to do specials or give discounts or have some kind of contest or to increase your cash flow. Um, so that's another one of the areas. Also, too, you want to enhance your customer service experience. Um, that's really improved customer service. I kind of like talked about that. You maybe want to revamp your product, revamp your service. And let me go back to improve cash flow. This can, really focus on collecting. Maybe you have, I don't know, depending on what kind of business you have, maybe you have extended credit or something like this. Some of your clients, you want to focus on collecting outstanding payments. Control your accounts payables as well as explore financing options. That's part of cash flow as well. I talked about customer service, enhance your experience, improve customer service, gather feedback, listen to your customers. If you listen to your customers, they're going to tell you exactly what they want. Put out surveys. If you don't know, actually in social media, for those who are on social media, you can actually, there's polls that you can conduct. Ask your customers questions. What do they want to see? What do they need? And this will help you in improving your product as well as improving your service. Okay. Communicate effectively. Be transparent. That's one of the other things. People like to see real people, right? Be transparent with your employees, be transparent with your customers, your suppliers, and other people, your shareholders about the challenges and the turnaround plan. Some of the things that that's the reason you ask your customers. Of course, you don't have to be too transparent, but let them know, you want to supply the service or the products that they need to make them a happy customer, to a repeat customer, right? So this is some of the things that you can do when you're talking about effective communicate. Regular updates, provide updates on the progress, the turnaround effect, open communication. Like I said, encourage, especially if you have employees. This is one of the things, even with working in corporate America, having, as an employee, I love my supervisors and managers that was very open and they had open dialogue and open communication. And they asked for our feedback. What do you think? Because what I have learned along the way is many times companies, even small businesses, they fail because they don't have a good employee engagement strategy. You need to engage with your employees more and ask them questions. And 9 times out of 10, guess what? They're going to have the answer. So that's what you call open communication. All right. And then stay flexible and adapt. And what does that mean? So what that means is you need to monitor your progress. When I say that, um, turn your turnaround plan. How is it going? Is it working? What adjustments you need to make? Be open to change. Sometimes we get set in our ways and we don't want to change, but only thing that don't change is change. I always say, be prepared to adapt the plan on your changing your business model if you need to. The changing markets and the conditions, what's going on. Perfect example, what's going on now. Another reason I had to make some changes in my business because of what's happening now. And then learn from your mistakes. That is key. You need to make sure you learn from your mistakes so that you don't repeat your mistakes. So that's another part of staying flexible and being able to adapt. And the last one, and I kind of highlight that, if you need to seek external expertise, it's okay. Because in the beginning, when I started my business, I actually hired coaches. And sometimes as business owners, I'm not, especially it may be a situation where you may not be financially able to um, maybe hire a coach or someone else, but you have to invest in your business. I am so glad I invested. It was not cheap. Between the coaches and the mentors I had, I probably spent close to $6,000 or more on expertise or how to help me, because I wanted to make sure my business was on a firm, solid foundation. And, so sometimes you need to hire a consultant, a business consultant to help you turn around your business, especially if they a specialist, really to guide you, to support you through the process. And then, seek mentors. I have a couple of mentors that I have. They give me advice, they give me guidance on, they've been maybe have a similar business that I have as well. So that is one of the major factors. You have to do what you need to do, especially if your business is important to you. You know, it is exactly, you have clarity what it's, what you're supposed to do. You have to seek experts to get you back on the right track as far as that. So this kind of leads me to some of the things that you can do as far as hire a coach. One of the things that I kind of want to, the reason I want to do this, like I said, I want to see everybody succeed. And if I can do anything to help anyone with their business, I want to see you win. Um, and back in 2023, part of my business is called I started LA 50, Life After 50, Reinventing Yourself. Now, even though it is geared toward women 50 plus, one of the things that I do as far as, life coaching, that's why I say business coaching and career, because all of those tie in together with what I do. You need to be in a business or doing maybe entrepreneurships and may not be for you, but you need to be in an area where you are living the life that you want to live, right? So, as far as getting clear, one of the things I offer as a clarity coach to help you as an expert, as a consultant, is help you find clarity on your business. Sometimes you have to go back to ground zero. And if you're a current business owner, guess what? It's okay, because guess what? I had to do that. I had to go back one time, and I can't tell you how many different times, I probably would say about at least 3 or 4, that I had to get clarity to find out exactly what I should be doing. I have been teaching entrepreneurship and innovation, and this is a true story, guys, for almost 10 years at a university online. I'm a business owner. I had to become my own student. Things I was teaching, I was like, and you would think it just really didn't pop on, but I had to get clarity on what exactly my business, what it should be focusing on, so I wouldn't run into the issues. But you, as a business owner, you are constantly evolving, but sometimes you need to go back to ground zero. So what this is, clarity coaching, some of the things, I'll go ahead and put this up here. If you're having issues wanting to start a business, or maybe you have a business, it's just not going well, and you like, what is really going on? I don't know what to do. This is one of those. This is a clarity track that I actually, coaching track that I offer. Actually, I have a class coming up to start next week. It's a group coaching, because I offer group coaching and individual coaching. So this will help you improve your decision making. You'll gain confidence in yourself, because I actually was at a conference, or at a networking event, I'm sorry, this morning, and we talked about having confidence and, making sure you're being who you are really designed to be. So this particular coaching track talks about confidence in yourself, goal setting. In this particular is 6 weeks. We actually have weekly activities. Of course, it's virtual. It enhances your self-awareness. Who are you really? It enhances your strategic thinking, and really to master your goal. What are you trying to do? It offers tools for clarity, success through career transitions. Maybe you decide, I am working a full-time job. I want to become an entrepreneur, but I really don't know how to transition. We talk about all of that. That is provided. I have tools that I have. I have actually models that I've actually have myself, as well as I've created. So, this is a community where you have, group coaching once a week, and you actually have a one-on-one coaching session with me as well once a week. So you also do get the what I call the LA 50 gifts, LA 50 swag. That's part of the package. I have a whole entire website. You'll see that with LA 50 swag. Plus two, as a bonus, you'll get 2 additional hours of one-on-one coaching with me. That is good after the course, actually after it ends, and it's good for 60 days after the course ends. So if you need clarity, you need to go back to the drawing board. If you had a business, this is for you. Even though it may say LA 50, I welcome all ages, 18 and up. women or men, it does not matter. So this is actually on my website. I am so passionate about this. There, of course, there is an investment. It's $550 for the investment, but I even set it up where you can actually have set up on payment plans. This is how passionate I am about helping you find clarity so that you can be the best you and you can go out and pay it forward to help other people. Now, another track that I have is what I call brand marketing coaching. This is for those individuals who have maybe you've actually found clarity. Let me go back here. But you need marketing. You need help with marketing. So this really empowers you as an entrepreneur, of course, a small business owner with really, I help you with tools and strategies to really elevate your brand to the next level. Um, over the 6 week, this is actually a 6 week course as well, or this is also one-on-one. So I'm not offering a group coaching with this right now, but I do have one-on-one coaching with this. And also this really assists you with, to effectively position your brand and, within a competitive market. One of the things that there are a lot of people out there life coaching, just like do business coaching. But one thing I know this makes me stand apart is my area of soft skills. Skilling you softly, that get people every time. They don't ever forget skilling you softly. Of course, if that was the Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly. So I actually had Skilling You Softly trademark. And actually, to be honest, I love all the tracks. The coaching tracks is probably one of my favorite. But I love branding, helping people get into finding their flow, who they really are, to be that unforgettable person in the marketplace of whatever industry that you're in. So these are some of the things that are offering. This course is 6 weeks. Each of these, of course, is virtual as well. And my coaching tracks are models that I have created. So it's kind of I won't say I want to scare. It's not intense, but we actually get down to the nitty gritty. I actually go deep when I am coaching you. You definitely get your money's worth on this one. Individually coaching here, there's a investment of $750, but I have it set up just like I have the rest of them. If you need to make investment, if you need to make payment plans, that's fine, because I know we are living in economic times right now that people are losing jobs. So I want to make sure I accommodate everyone because I love what I do. And like I said, I want to see you win. And the next coaching track, of course, is leadership coaching. So with leadership coaching, same thing, 6 weeks. And this is really designed to help you transition to becoming effective leaders. Really, if you're inspired to really to inspire others and really guide them with confidence and empathy, helps you really to develop your key soft skills, such as effective communication, emotional intelligence, team building, of course. And this is a 6 week course as well. And it really helps you provide the insight and strategies really as a leader, what you really need. So as a leader, you always want to lead with purpose and integrity. This is whether you're a seasoned leader looking to refine your skills, or if you're an emerging leader late in your career who wants to make a significant impact. So this is what this coaching track is all about. And of course, as well, you LA 50 swag and additional coaching hours as a bonus. You'll get this. In this particular track. So, whether and to be honest with you, I am so passionate. If I can actually give this away, I would, because like I said, when you're talking about finding clarity and, coming into your branding, and even leadership. All of these are three crucial areas where you're talking about entrepreneurship or just in your daily life. This is just not for entrepreneurs. If you want to become better in your areas, these coaching tracks, that they're for you. All right. So some of the other services, I was just like, Sarita, how many other services do you have? So one of the other things that I do offer is it go hands in hand with the coaching. These are other professional services. One of the things that I learned in my late in life is I love to help. I love graphic design. So basically everything you've actually seen on this presentation, either presentation, I designed it myself. But I also have these services for business owners as well. So, if you need a resume or proposals, presentation, flyers, resumes, graphics, business card, info, graphs, even book covers. I've written like 3 books and actually 4 books, but 2 of the 4, one of the last book I actually designed cover myself, and the books that I have coming. I actually design my own book covers. So these are just some of the things, some of the other services that are offered. And one other service is, because I came from corporate America, I do have a corporate background. So I do corporate training. So these are some of the actually the tracks that I have, or the development. There are 3 development levels. It's almost like a university. I've actually develop over 17 different courses. Of course, most of them are soft skill courses. So if you have anyone work where you are, need corporate training, I actually have developed, and as I had on here at the end, this is not a one size fit all. I customize based on your industry when I actually conduct these corporate training. And I'm the kind that I tell my clients, I have a couple of clients, I do not believe, and from experience, you can just throw a one-day one-day training is going to solve your issues. You need to invest in your employees. So most of these that I have, these services, they're either a 3-month program, a 6-month program, or 8-month program. So it's like you are in a university, how I have these set up. So these are the other services. If you are working at a corporation, y'all need some soft skill development. You need to just reach out to me, and we can set a date and time, and I can come meet with your either your HR professional, whoever the leader is. And at the end here, books and merchandise. So like I say, I'm an author. I've written co-authored and authored a total of 4 books. My latest is Wisdom from Sarita's Pen, is what basically is for daily living in the workplace. So a lot of the quotes and different things I've written that help in your daily life, as well as in your workplace, because I talk about soft skill, I talk about leadership, I talk about management in some of the quotes. And as well as we have our merchandise here. LA 50 merchandise, as well as some of the others. One of the things I love to do is write motivational quotes. Some of the quotes are actually on some of the merchandise that I have. So you can see that as well here. All right. So this is the time, if there are any questions that you may have, you can ask them at this time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. If not, we will keep it moving, and I'm actually recording this, and I'm going to upload it on my YouTube channel. So I'll still have, you'll still have access to me. If you have something come up and you see this, you can always shoot me an email. All right, this is my information. Stay in contact with me. Okay. Thanks, Robin, for attending. Stay in contact with me. Let's keep in touch. So this is my email address, All Things Sarita, my website, my mailing address as well as I will have webinars every month. Basically, I have some type of free webinar, so you can reach out to me then. I want to thank you for attending. And I always like to end with Maya Angelou's quote, "Be the change you want to see." So if you said there's an issue with peace in the world, you said there's an issue with lack of love, be loving, be peaceful, be respectful, be the change you want to see. All right, so if there is no further questions, I am going to stop sharing here. And I thank you for attending this webinar. It's like I said, if you have any questions, send me an email. I'll be happy to answer for you. And everybody have an amazing day, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.